Hi. So, I wanted to start a new series on this channel because I really like Halloween, and I recently dove deep into the history of Halloween, and I wanted to share what I learned. So I'm starting a new series, and it is called The More You Know, and the first installment will be of the origin of Halloween. This is episode 1, and this one will specifically be about the name Halloween, and where it came from, where it started, how far back does it go, and why do we call it that? Alright, let's get started. If you hear water, that's because my brother's taking a shower, and we're just gonna ignore that. Okay, cool. In order to explain why we call Halloween Halloween, we have got to go back over 2,000 years, all the way to Celtic time. The Celts had a holiday called Samhain. It looks like this, but it was pronounced Samhain. And it marked the beginning of dark times. It was the time when things got dark faster, darkness lasted longer, you know, fall, things like that. During this time, we talked to druids, and druids would be the ones to kind of tell them the future of their crops and say, hey, this is going to be a good harvest for you, a bad harvest. And that was extremely important at the time because the crops were how they survived. It was their food. This became the most important time of the year because it was before winter, when everything died. So they needed a good harvest in order to survive the winter. The holiday became associated not just with darkness, but with death. And because of that, it was seen as the day where the veil between the living and the dead was kind of lifted. Souls could creep back up into our plane, and the living could get lost and taken by souls. In order to scare away all of the souls that are popping back up, they would have a huge bonfire, and they would burn crops and sacrifice animals, and they would be wearing masks, and the whole idea was to use the light to scare away all of the souls that are creeping up from the underworld. Fast forward a couple years, 43 AD, the Romans now conquered. And because of that, there's a bit of merging of tradition. Now we are going to fast forward a couple hundred years to about 609 AD. Now around this time there were a ton of pagan religions going around and a ton of different pagan holidays. One of the pagan holidays we are going to talk about, it was called Lemurium. And I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, so correct me down below if I'm saying it wrong. But that was a pagan holiday where they celebrated the dead, and it was May 13th. And what they would do is they would pour milk onto graves and offer these little cakes. At 609 AD, Pope Boniface made a huge decision. In order to convert some pagans into Christianity, instead of just taking away their holidays, they would put a Christian spin on it. They took Lemurium and changed it into All Saints' Day. And that turned out to be a huge success. Now, because that was such a success, at about 1000 AD, the Christian church decided to try to do the same with Samhain. They not only moved All Saints' Day from May 13th to November 1st, the day after Samhain, they also made November 2nd All Souls' Day. Now, All Souls' Day attempted to do the same thing that All Saints' Day did, in where it took the traditions from Samhain and just kind of put a little bit of a Christian spin on it. Here's where the name comes in. All Saints' Day is also called All Hallows' Day. So the day before All Hallows' Day was called All Hallows' Eve, which shortened to All Hallows' Eve and then Halloween. And that's how we got the name. The traditions for Halloween ended up merging with All Souls' Day and All Saints' Day, so that's where a lot of the traditions come in. And I will talk about that more in the next video, so stay tuned. So I totally forgot to film an outro, so that's it, that's the end. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching, and as always, one world, one people, spread the love. Bye!